Hello everyone and welcome to Club Reaction as Rangers rather comfortably beat Ross County by 4-1 in the last game of the season at Ibrox. I am your host Scott Carney. I'm with Ali Pearson. Hello Ali.
Put it down in the back seat here. Last game at Ibrox, it was routine's probably the word to be honest, but it's it's on to bigger and better games. I know we've got Hearts game Saturday, but if we can just get out of the way and get on to the main event.
Yes, definitely. Podcast friend Jamie Lowe is driving, so he will be unable to participate due to due to reasons. So yeah, tonight was, a doddle, an absolute doddle for Rangers. There was a much stronger squad name than we probably expected. I think it was McGregor, Tavernier, Goldson, Bassey, Barisic, Lundstrom, Kamara, Lowry, Aribo, Wright and Kent. Ali, the thoughts on the team for me is that's probably your team that starts next week, probably minus Lowry for Ryan Jack.
Yeah, I did say in the last pod the big hitters would come back. They did. I didn't think it would be as many as them, to be honest, but wasn't surprised. Lowry in there, yeah, I think that is the team for the cup final, bar, like you say, Ryan Jack for Lowry or Kamara if he is available, we don't know, but I think that is a team plus Ryan Jack and Lowry out.
Yeah, definitely. Put a light on so people can see you, mate. You've got a good. You know, watch Alistair try and turn on a light, shall we? That'll be entertaining for him. Well done, Alistair. He is technical.
You get different.
And that's pretty much as exciting as tonight got. No, look, we were all very excited to see Lowry. I was particularly looking forward to seeing Lowry when I seen he was in the starting lineup, and yeah, he impressed again. I think he struggled to get into the game a wee bit to start off with, but I'm not going to be really too critical of him at all. And Rangers were very comfortably 2-0 up in the first half. I think the biggest thing about tonight was Gio had to do what he had to do in order to make sure that these players are in the right position, the right frame of mind, the right fitness levels, all the sport scientist stuff as well. So tonight wasn't really about the result, even though it is also good to win, and also by getting a penalty. James Tavernier getting a penalty, which is always good. But yeah, in terms of the first half, it was all about just doing what we had to do.
Yeah, I thought Rangers were very good the first half, moving the ball well. Ross County couldn't touch the ball, to be honest. Just keeping the momentum going for next Wednesday. This time next Wednesday we'll know. Well, hopefully we'll know what's happened, unless it goes to extra time. That's a week away. But no, it's keeping the momentum going. It's keeping minutes in the legs. And yeah, I thought Rangers were very bright. We went 2-0 up, got the penalty. I'd like to see it back, to be honest. At first I wasn't sure on it, I'll be honest.
I think it was a penalty.
We sit in the club deck, but it must have been a penalty. Tar puts it away lovely. But no, the first half was as routine first halves would be at Ibrox, and that's how it should be at Ibrox every week. And yeah, I was impressed with Rangers in the first half. To be honest, I said to you at half time, didn't give it first gear Rangers, and they didn't have to give it first gear because they were so dominant over Ross County, and they just couldn't get the ball off us. No,
and they are very poor. Ross County are very poor. Scotty got the other goal in the first half, and yeah, it was comfortable. We were all very happy with the way things were at half time, and it didn't really change really going into the second half. We made a number of changes today, which always disrupts the team a wee bit. It's always going to affect things slightly when we do make changes. Diallo come on at half time for Aribo. It was good to see Aribo back. Obviously the concussion's now cleared up, there's no real issue with him there. I thought he looked bright. I thought he also looked like he was trying to make sure he didn't leave the manager's plans, if that made sense. He was really showing some stuff, Joe Aribo. But again, it was all about just keeping the players fit, getting through the game, winning the game, yes, but that's really what it was all about. So as I said, the second half was, a number of changes were made, and they actually goes 2-1. Scott Wright's Ali, you said he pulls out of a tackle probably correctly at this point. And to be fair to Ross County, I think it was White that scored. It is some finish, it's a cracking finish, but it's not like Rangers not to make you think, be a wee bit nervous for the last remainder of the game at Ibrox, why don't you?
Yeah, I sent my Scotia in the second half, and Scott Wright did shit out of that challenge, but I said to Scotia, it's the first time I've actually applauded a Rangers player shiting out of a challenge, because we've got bigger fish to fry in the grand scheme of it. Scott Wright could have went into that challenge. He was injured not that long before it, and he could have injured himself again. And to be honest, Scott Wright chose the right. It was the right thing for Scott Wright to do, to be honest. And it goes to that boy. It's a great finish. You got to say it, boy. It's a great finish. But if we didn't have bigger games going up, I think Scott Wright would have went in on that challenge, and he didn't. But he was correct, Scott Wright, because we had bigger games, and it was 2-1, and it's the only real shot they had, to be honest. I didn't feel it, even at 2-1.
It is the only thing they done.
I didn't feel it 2-1. They were going to do much, to be honest. I had a wee joke saying to Scotia it'll end up 2 each, but I knew it wasn't.
No, definitely not. I don't know how many times Ali said right there. That must be a record for that wee period, though. He did say right. He said it a lot of times. Anyway, moving further on, and as I say, Rangers make it 3-1, and it's Fashion Sakala that gets the third goal. Even though Ross County did score, Rangers just continue to dominate. Lowry as well. Some of the passes the boy has is really, really impressive. He's got a very, very good brain. Really good, and he's only going to get better and better, I think. If we're going to be realistic about it, as much as I would love to think we're going to build a team around him, I think if we keep him for another couple of years, I think Rangers are doing very, very well, because he's a real talent. And we make it 4-1 towards the end with Diallo. You was waiting for that. After tremendous work by Bassey, not giving up and winning the ball out on the left hand side, squares it across the face of the goal, and it's a tap in for Diallo, and it's an easy night's work for Rangers. Ali, that's all we can really say. Doesn't look like there's going to be any great injuries, which is what it's all about. Players have got minutes that had to get minutes, and it's all about just ticking things over, keeping the feel-good factor in the team by winning, and winning convincingly, and we just roll on to Saturday, tick another game off, and then it's the main event.
Yeah, job done for me tonight. Regardless what the score was, you want to win the game. To me, it's come out with there, because I knew the big hits were back. Come out there, no injuries. It looks like we've come out with no injuries. The only one you could have said was Scott Wright get halved at one point, but he came back, played on, so I don't think we've got any injuries from that. Players like Joe Rebo have come back, got minutes in the legs, so no, it's a positive night's work for Rangers. We roll into Saturday. We talked about it coming back to the car, lads, and I think we've all said that team that starts next Wednesday, that full team to me is rested. I wouldn't gamble in any single one of them. I would rest the whole team and put a shoestring team against Hearts on Saturday. I really would, because it's not worth gambling any players at this point. You maybe say Ryan Jack could possibly come in for minutes, and Kamara if he's on the fringes, but that's about it for me.
Yeah, I would probably agree. We'll get into more detail about that when we come back on Friday. We'll do a preview before the Hearts game, but yeah, I could completely agree. These players have to be protected now. There's only one game in town, and it's not even in town, but you know what I mean. Cannot wait for it. Can you pick a man of the match, Ali? Sponsors gave it to Lowry tonight.
I was saying that to Scotia. It's quite hard. I thought Kamara quietly went about his business.
When you change the team as much as that, it's hard, I think, as well.
It's hard. It's hard. Scotia actually thought Kamara quietly went about his business. I agreed with Scotia. If I was hard pushed, I'd probably agree with the sponsors to Keita Lowry, because he was a shining light. He's got his head up all the time, trying things, he's trying to play the ball forward all the time. So I'd agree with the sponsors this time. I didn't agree with them once at the weekend with Aaron Ramsey, but I agree with them tonight.
That's fair enough. I'll give it to Bassey after he moved out to left back in the second half. I thought he was very impressive. Again, just another guy that continues to put in 7, 8 out of 10, and fully working his way into a mainstay within this team. At the end, there was a few emotional, I don't want to say goodbyes, because it wasn't quite like that. Obviously, it looks like McGregor was saying cheerio. I think we're all expecting that. And Goldson as well. I heard a few people saying as we were leaving, he looked maybe a wee bit upset, and possibly Davis. I did notice him on the screen as we were leaving. Maybe I possibly a bit upset. Look, all that's to come. It is the last game of the season. We don't know what's going to happen in the future, but all we do know is there's a massive game coming up on Wednesday. So that will do us. One more game to go, and then it's happening. Ali, thank you very much.
No problem. I would say, I don't know if they watch the post matches. I know they do watch the club previews.
Oh, you've just reminded me as well. Thank you,
corners, mate. But myself and Scotia met some Club at 22 fans in the Viceroy. They came all the way to the Viceroy just to meet myself and Scotia, which is a bit surreal at times, to be honest, when that happens. It was Pamela and Olivia came to meet us, and it was nice to meet us. It was Olivia's first game at Ibrox. Her boyfriend is in the Union Bears apparently, but it was it was good to meet us. They got a photo with me and Scotia, so if you keep that, we'll sign it for you, don't worry. Keep that. That'll be worth a lot of money in a long time.
No, it won't.
It was good to meet you, and hopefully we'll meet you again.
Yeah, superb. And I'll give a shout out to the man you'll all know as Potato Man in the comments. Very kindly come up and said hello tonight before we went into the stadium. Absolute pleasure to meet him, and an absolute gent is what he was. So yeah, that'll do. As I say, we'll be back on Friday with a club preview. Until then, we are Club at 22, the Rangers podcast, and there's just one more game left to go before we get ourselves to Seville. Thank you for listening to us, and I'll speak to you on Friday. Cheers, everybody.